Welcome to the NBA Pick Show on the LineStar YouTube channel alongside my co-host Tyler Wiemann. I am Shannon Sommerville, and we've got your NBA picks for tonight's action. The Minnesota Timberwolves taking on OKC in Game 2. I wish I could just continue on to our picks, Tyler, but we've got some recapping to do of last night's debacle for my New York Knicks, falling, of course, to the Pacers in overtime. It was an epic collapse for the Knicks in this one. So you know what? That one hurt just a little bit. I actually went into that game not thinking we were going to win it. I thought the Pacers were going to win it on the rest advantage and just didn't have a great feeling about it. Nonetheless, that is not the way you want to lose a game and have Tyrese Halliburton doing the choke sign on your home court in front of Reggie Miller, who famously did it 20 years ago. So you know what? I'm in a pit of misery today.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I was telling you, I went in to give my daughter a bath, thinking the Knicks had it, locked up. And sure enough, I come out to overtime and the last like 30 seconds and was just completely surprised. I was totally ready for you to victory lap your Yankees walk off, the Knicks win, all that, and pretty much being unbearable how great New York sports are and all that. But you got brought down
We
to
got
earth
humbled.
again.
We got
Yes.
humbled. I kind of saw that happening throughout that game, knowing the team that the Pacers have been and how many times they've done it this season and have come back from that. And just the way they were shooting was like unbelievable. Jalen Brunson getting into foul trouble. It was just like not a good feeling, even though they did have the lead in those, final minutes. I didn't feel good about it. And then, of course,
I
just
mean,
Pacers could
Naismith.
not miss. And yeah, that was pretty wild. As far as our picks are concerned, I guess we should recap that. We called it. We said it's probably gonna be a cat game. It certainly was for him. We crushed it on the points and rebounds one. Miles Turner, though, didn't get there on the threes. I thought the way he was shooting early, they'd give it to him on the perimeter a bit more, but he just had 1 3-pointer, so didn't cash that extender entry. But today is a new day, and of course, take advantage of that extender offer right now on Underdog. If you don't have Underdog, download it. Use the promo code LineStar, and remember, you'll get that nice bonus deposit match plus 1 free month of the LineStar app, so take advantage of that. But the extender is a really great promo that they've got going on. Basically, it's just a boost for every game. The longer the series, the bigger the boost. We started with a 40% boost in game 1, so tonight we'll get a nice 50% boost on our entry. So hopefully we can cash it tonight with that bigger boost and go off on our picks. So yes, last night was a bit of a miserable night for us. And then on our ladder, we had 2 guys go to that third rung. We had Tyrese Halliburton and Karl Anthony Towns, but Benedict Mathurin, he just got to that first rung. So we got our money back, but we're trying to get that 25x. So maybe we can do it tonight in tonight's showdown between the Thunder and the Timberwolves in this one. And man, the Timberwolves, the second half of that game in game 1, I mean, the OKC played terribly in the first half, but just really came and then dominated in the second half of that game. So should be an interesting game 2, but the Thunder is just looking good right now. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the Thunder series to lose. And I mean, exactly that. I think Minnesota needs to change a lot. And the issue is they've been turnover prone all year long, and the Thunder create a lot of them. And
Oh, yeah.
that was a big difference last game.
All right, so let's get into our picks today. Again, that extender bonus, game 2, 50%. Let's go here. We're going to start off with Timberwolves, Jaden McDaniels. We're actually going back to a play we had earlier this week. We're going higher on his points and rebounds total. LineStar and the consensus are to the over. Last game, he had 13 points and rebounds, but only played 24 minutes. And remember, usually he's playing closer to 40. What's your impressions of where McDaniels is in terms of that points and rebounds mark for tonight?
Yeah, he fouled out in 24 minutes. He had 6 fouls, kicked out of the game, had 13. So he was very productive in those limited minutes. And the Timberwolves need him. I think OKC, it's pretty obvious. They're going to throw Wallace, Caruso, Dort at Ant, and try and slow him down. Using all their best defensive players on him, just slow him down. And what's going to have to happen is one of these wings is going to have to step up. And I think Jaden McDaniels is one of those ones that absolutely could. And I mean, he can hit the boards hard. He can hit a couple threes. And I think the 17.5 number is probably just a little lower.
All right. And yeah. And another pick that we're rolling with here is going to be Jalen Williams, lower than 25.5 points and assists. This is one that we went to earlier in game one. And in fact, the under was the one that cashed there. As you can see, LineStar just shy of that points and assists mark. And what is your impression of Jalen Williams and the value here perhaps being to the under?
Yeah, I think it's just same as the first game. I think this is, SGA's series. Yeah. SGA is pretty much going to put up 30 plus every single game. That's going to be how it is. He's almost like a lock for that. And Williams needs to do everything else. He needs to defend well. He needs to get some boards, maybe facilitate a little bit, but I don't think there's a huge emphasis on his scoring, and there really hasn't been in the playoffs at all. And this 25.5 number, like we thought first game, is just a little bit too high.
All right. So our entry that we're using that extender bonus on Underdog for is going to be Jaden McDaniels higher than 17.5 points and rebounds, and Jalen Williams lower than 25.5 points and assists. Again, you can tail us on Underdog if you would like, but make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below. It helps us out, but it also helps you out because hopefully if we go 2 for 2, one randomly selected commenter will win $20. You got to be in it to win it. And not only does it enter you into the contest, but it would just brighten my day. Come on, guys, like this video. I'm miserable today after that choke performance from my New York Knicks. It would certainly brighten up my day to see likes and comments, maybe some commiseration. Or if you're a Pacers fans, feel free to talk all the smack you want today because guess what? But here's the silver lining, Tyler, of that whole debacle. Reggie Miller did the choke sign, and they actually ended up losing that series. So perhaps it is it omen that, the Knicks come back stronger. It is just game one after all. All right, let's move on to our ladder play. Yesterday, we weren't quite able to get there on the ladder. We were able to at least get our money back with our entry that we had. We had 2 players reach the third rung. So that's what we're going for, that 25x performance. Remember, all 3 players need to surpass that third rung of the ladder for us to get the maximum amount. So we're really swinging for the fences with our picks here, going for guys that we think could absolutely pop off in this game. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. And we got to start things off with Julius Randle as one of those players who could get there. So the point total that he needs to reach for the first rung is going to be 16 points. Again, that's just 1x, so you get your money back at that first rung. The second rung, 20 points. The third rung, 29 points. LineStar's projection, 28 for Randle. That's pretty good. He's been averaging 24 per game in the playoffs and had 28 last game. Tyler, you mentioned someone other than Anthony Edwards probably going to need to step up for the Timberwolves if they've got a shot in this one. Certainly that applies to Randle, right?
Yeah, he's been hot. He's been stepping up, and I think he can again. I mean, somebody's got to do it on this team, and the second star really needs to show his face if they have a chance to keep this game close or win the game.
And then next up on the flip side, SGA, as you mentioned, got to put this series on his back. The MVP, 27, 32, 42 are the numbers that he needs to reach for us to get the maximum payout. LineStar's projection is 32.2 for SGA. Averaging 29 points per game in the playoffs. He has yet to post 40 or more. The most he's had in the playoffs so far was 38 versus Memphis, but certainly a guy who can get it done, especially against this Minnesota team. I feel like last game started off very slow for this OKC team, but once they got going, it's hard to stop SGA and the Thunder in this one. And so we're looking for that max payout, that 42-point performance. Do you think it's in store for SGA tonight?
So he has had 5 games versus Minnesota this year now. 4 of them, he has been 30 plus. I think he's almost automatic for 30 plus. Mm-hmm. If the game stays close, I think that is when those 40 pluses have their ability to show. And that's, kind of the narrative that we took when building this ladder. These ladders are kind of like, one of the single game daily fantasy contests where you're trying to get those outlier performances and need to kind of build a narrative or a storyline. And I think the storyline here is the game stays close. Randle steps up. SGA has to battle. And then lastly, you take a wing from Minnesota because they're the other ones that are going to have to step up and score for Minnesota to have it stay close. I think SGA 30 plus is very likely.
All right, so let's talk about that wing player for the Timberwolves. We're going to roll with Donte Divincenzo here. The numbers for him to reach for that first round, 7. For the second rung, 10. That's 3x our money. And that final rung, which is 25x, 17 points. And Tyler, that's very doable for DiVincenzo. LineStar's projection is just 8.6. But DiVincenzo's been super cold in the playoffs, but he's getting so many shots off. He shot 12 threes last game. Just wasn't really falling for him. It kind of hasn't been. But if he gets hot, that could spell 25x cash for us. Just 9 points last game. Most points he's had in the playoffs is 13. But given the amount of shots that he's taking, I'm willing to gamble here with DiVincenzo. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is totally a volume play. I mean, he took 14 shots, 12 threes. He only shot 25% from 3, and that's just not who he is. He's
Right.
a way better shooter than that. My bet here is just, that percentage is going to go up. Maybe the volume comes down a little bit. I mean, 12 threes is ridiculous. I don't think he's going to keep doing that game in and game out, but it also shows how OKC is guarding them.
Yes.
OKC is fine with anybody but Ant beating them. And that's what they're going to do. Again, he is just too good of a shooter. The volume's there. Those 25x plus 17 point chances, absolutely in the realm of possibility. If you don't want to go Donte, Nah or McDaniels or another one, with the same kind of philosophy, same kind of strategy or thinking going there. If you think OKC just runs them over, then you probably want to bring out SGA and flip it a little bit. But I think Donte is a good bet here.
Yeah, I like our ladder lineup because I feel like it kind of is consistent with the identities for both teams, right? Like everybody knows they're going to be all over Ant, and the OKC, it's their defense is awesome. They don't allow a lot of points in the paint. They're going to push the Minnesota Timberwolves to get shots on the perimeter, and that kind of plays to our overall ladder lineup here with Randle, DiVincenzo on the perimeter as someone who could get hot, but also the identity of OKC is their best player, SGA. So that is our lineup. Again, our ladder lineup on Underdog. To get to the ladder lineups game, all you got to do is click on Originals within the Underdog app, and then it'll take you to the ladders, and that's how you can play that. So best of luck to you in all of your picks for tonight. Oh man, need another 24 hours before I'm ready for game 2 here. Got to compose myself. We got maybe a long series here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Again, it would really brighten my spirits to see a bunch of comments and likes on this video. So do me a favor and like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below. Again, we'll give someone $20 if we hit both of our picks for our extender in this series as well. Take advantage of all the great promos that Underdog has right now. Underdog is the place to make your picks during playoff basketball, and it's been fun. Maybe not fun for me last night with my Knicks, but we've got a fun conference finals here coming up. So let's go get that money. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you guys next time.